Okay, John Cook here at GeekWire out in front of the Seattle 2.0 Awards, and we're here with Dan Shapiro of SparkBuy and my trusty colleague Rebecca Lovell of GeekWire. And Dan, you're up for a big award tonight, Startup CEO. What? Are you going to win this?
Well, judging by the company, I really don't deserve to be nominated because we've got like Glenn, who IPO'd, we've got Ben Huh, who just raised like more money than anybody I know and has, you know, gajillions of users and revenue and all that stuff. And SparkBuy is still 3 people. But you know, it's a tremendous honor. It's awesome recognition from the community, and maybe I can, you know, just like out pitch myself to the audience. We'll see.
All right, so this isn't your first rodeo, and you've probably done it every which way. But if, in a word, you had to sum up your advice: bootstrap, angel, VC, go.
Variety. So my last one was big VC, raised over $30 million in the course of doing Ontella. This one, we did $1 million rounds, fantastic. Brought in some small VC, great angel investors. Some people like to do the same thing over and over again and get really good at it. I just like to do completely crazy stuff I've never done before and learn new things. So variety, spice of life.
Or you could go the Bill Harding route and win the best bootstrap startup of Seattle and get venture funding.
Yeah, right. Like before the award closed, that was beautiful.
So what's it going to take for the startup community to really elevate itself here? I mean, you've written a lot about that on our site, on GeekWire, and I know you have some strong opinions about it. So what's it going to take?
Yeah, it's something I thought a lot about. I'll tell you what drives me nuts is people who want to compete with Silicon Valley. That's just ridiculous. We don't want to be better than Silicon Valley. We want to be better than Seattle today, because Seattle has an amazing set of things going for it. So what we need to step up our game, I think we need to get a broader funding base. We need to get more angels in. There's been lots of talk about that. I think it's crucial. Wouldn't hurt to have another active VC firm or 2 in the region as well. And I think we've got something really crucial right now, which is between Techstars and Founder Institute and some of these great incubator programs, we've got the framework to help people learn to become great entrepreneurs. And that's going to see the results. I don't think it's going to be 6 months. I don't think it's the first time around, but that's something that we grow and build off of. And the strengths of this region are huge. I mean, we've got more product, core consumer product skill here than they do down in the valley. We've got Amazon, we've got companies like Cranium, we've got Starbucks, we've got all these people building companies that just wouldn't fly down south. That's what's special about here, and that's what we need to build off of.
So you're up for Best Startup CEO tonight at the awards ceremony, and what makes a good startup CEO?
I think a good startup CEO is one that doesn't understand the word no. When you want to try something where other people will say that's a pretty crazy idea, or other people have failed at doing that, and you go straight right ahead and try something.
You know, I will never forget, one of my favorite quotes of yours, actually, is if you go out and talk to your market, talk to 100 people and 20 say, yeah, I'd use that product, it's a much better option to have 5 people and only 5 tell you that is the most amazing thing I have ever seen in my life. You know, I found that to be inspirational.
I didn't
I'd love to hear
say
more
that well, but yes, I agree with you. If you tell me that's what I said, I totally agree. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, passion always trumps market.
So Ben, you guys just raised $30 million in venture capital, which you were just telling us was a quarter of the, what was the factoid?
I think it was 1/4 of Q1's all venture capital raising in Washington State.
Wow. Yeah. So how has life changed now that you're a venture-backed company? I asked you this when I interviewed at the time. How's the culture going to change at the place? Because you've always been such a bootstrapped organization.
Yeah, we used to have folding tables. Now almost everybody has used IKEA desks, which are bigger and nicer. So the office looks much, much nicer now. And we got some nicer chairs. And other than that, we increased our staff by about 20 people, and we're still continuing to hire.
Cook here from GeekWire out in front of the Seattle 2.0 Awards on the red carpet. And here we have some great guests. We have Eric Kuster of Zarly, Danielle Morell of Twilio, and Galen Ward of Estately, some startup veterans here. So what are we going to see tonight, guys?
I'm looking forward to kind of getting everyone together and really like seeing what's, you know, connecting with people you haven't connected with in a while. So I'm excited to see what really shines in Seattle.
And you're a past winner, I believe, right? But not up tonight?
No, not up. Yes, Zarly is up for Best Mobile Startup, actually.
How does that work? You're not in Seattle, are you? And you're moving, I think. So how are you up for a Seattle 2.0 award?
No, we are in Seattle. We have an office here, and we love Seattle, right?
Okay.
We're launching in Seattle too.
We'll let it pass, I guess. So, Galen, you're up for something or not?
No, I'm up for Best Dressed.
Yes. Yes.
What are you
I'm
wearing tonight, by the way?
A pink Nordstrom shirt and
Sporting
some decent jeans.
Too. Yeah, okay. Sporting a new haircut.
And sporting a new haircut. Sporting the I'm getting older haircut.
Now, you just told
Popular
me,
with startup founders.
Galen, you told me the other night you're moving from your toxic fumed office in South Lake Union to a new location. Where are you guys moving?
We're moving down to 2nd and Cherry to join the old startup scene of Seattle, even though Amazon has just moved into our neighborhood and overrun all the restaurants.
Yeah, screw South Lake Union. Pioneer Square is where it's at.
All right, so a couple questions. With 2/3 of the startup weekend board here, I don't know who's minding the shot, but let's get some predictions from you. What's the next awesome city that startup weekend is going to go to? Oh, wow.
I just saw that they're holding the first one in Las Vegas, and I'm pretty excited to see what a startup weekend in Vegas turns out, because there is actually a really unique entrepreneurial community there. Lots of like kind of hustlers and people. So I'm anxious to see what they'll pull together, and with the gambling scene and everything else going on there. So
I'm actually really interested in Montana, so we just did a tour in Montana for Twilio developer evangelism, and we found 3 cities that all have really small tech communities, so not sure which is going to be the winner yet. It's kind of got the Silicon Prairie thing going on where everyone drives really far to do a meetup, but I'm excited about that community.
Danielle, you went through a massive flurry of commentary on GeekWire a couple days ago, where you were talking about how you wanted to come back to this community and be a part of it. You're based down in San Francisco now. What's it going to take to get you back here? What's Seattle's startup community missing?
I mean, I think a startup more disruptive than Twilio for me to join is the answer. Or starting one, and I'm just so passionate about what I'm building. It has nothing to do with geography, other than that's where my customers are. I wish we could be here, but the reality is it's just about shaking shit up, frankly.
Yeah, and Twilio, which was started by an Amazon veteran, online voice service, actually started here, but decided to move to the Bay Area. So it's one that kind of got away, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff and I were here, and then Evan and John are down in the Bay, and we felt like that's where the developer community is really based, and that's where our customers are. And ultimately, you have to go for where it's best for the business, even if it isn't the place that your heart is. And I think I've learned to love San Francisco, and it's very different from the Valley. There's like 2 different communities, and it feels a lot like Seattle down there.
Yeah. Okay, John Cook here, out front in the Seattle 2.0 Awards with GeekWire, and my trusty colleague Rebecca Lovell, also of GeekWire, and we're here with Ran Fishkin of SEO Moz. Ran, what does SEO Moz do?
SEO Moz makes everything on the internet better.
Wow.
Yeah,
why doesn't everyone know you?
Actually, they do. It's amazing. If you just Google anything, we are helping all of those people who appear in those top results to get where they are, making the internet, generally speaking, a much better place. So that's our mission.
So with that kind of bold claim, how do you like your chances tonight?
Not good, not good. I saw what the other startups were bribing the judges with, and I don't have that type of collateral, so I don't think we're going to match up tonight. But I think maybe next year. I have a baby elephant that we've been grooming genetically, and I think if we hand that over, we might be able to get some sway.
Although Galen Ward was throwing his name in the hat for best dressed, we have to point out the shoes.
Yeah, that is clearly going to make me the opposite of him. So I think that's a win. I'm excited.
What's that?
What kind of shoes are those?
I don't know. Todd, do you have something to say here?
Yes, I mean, sort of the voiceless person behind this. What kind of shoes are those?
Yeah, good question. So I'll give you a very brief story. At my first ever conference, where I met people in person rather than just over the internet, I didn't know what anyone would look like, and I knew nobody knew what I would look like. And so I wore yellow Pumas, and so ever since I've been wearing yellow Pumas most of the time when I speak or give a presentation. So tonight I'm giving a brief 4-minute presentation. It should be challenging, to say the least.
Awesome. SEO Moz is an interesting history, right, Ray? You started the company with your mom.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I dropped out of the University of Washington 2 classes away from graduating. My mom and I went deeply into debt trying to build a consulting business, and turns out after you go about $100,000 in debt, even if you start paying some back, the interest builds so quickly that you get buried. So I think we were almost $500,000 in debt at one point around 2004, 2005. And then we sort of stumbled across like, oh, this SEO thing is really working for us, and we got some great clients, and we started generating revenue. In 2007, Ignition invested in us, and we switched from being a consulting company to a product company, and we've been powering people's SEO with our software ever since.